This episode of Dispatches from Planet Albany is brought to you with support by New York State United Teachers, which represents more than 600,000 educators and school-related professionals in New York. Dispatches is also supported by the public affairs firm O'Donnell & Associates. For more information, check out o'donnellsolutions.com.
This episode is also brought to you by Citizens for Affordable Rates. New York's car insurance costs are nearly double the national average, and state lawmakers must take action to make driving more affordable. Learn more at citizensforaffordablerate.com.
With that, I'd like to introduce our first governmental witness, Ms. Ruth Ann. How do you pronounce that?
Wisniewskis.
You all heard that. Okay.
I've also declared war on potholes, so here's the first shot across the bow.
Well, as you know, with Planet Albany, there's always something that makes the planet turn.
And it's this amazing view of D.C., and Eddie Vedder comes out. And he goes, "You have a cigarette?" And I've never smoked in my life, but if I had, I wish that was the moment.
And this strategy takes us from potholes to knotholes.
I would like to say it was a pleasure, Mr. Kim. But I'm on the road.
I'm David Lombardo, and this is Dispatches from Planet Albany, a podcast about power and politics in New York State government. I feel like I should do that again, but we'll just truck along because we're at limited time. And on today's episode, we're talking about who are some of the most powerful people in Planet Albany, not named Hochul, Heastie, or Stewart-Cousins. And to help us make sense of the power dynamics in Albany, we're joined by some of the most powerful podcasters. And across from me, they are Assemblymember Josh Jensen, a Rochester-area Republican. Thank you, Assemblymember.
I'm so happy to be back.
And also joining us is Bloomberg Government Capitol reporter Raga Justin.
Yeah, it took you a second there.
I wanted to get it correct.
Thank you for having me.
An ASMR enthusiast.
I'm not going to put that on the record, but on background, yeah.
That's the good news. This isn't being recorded.
So for today's episode, we are going to be giving our top 5 most powerful people in Planet Albany. But just like the MVP debate in sports, I think this is a little ambiguous. And before we began recording, for example, Raga had the question of what constitutes Planet Albany. And for me, that is anybody who is working tangentially connected to state government. So that means if you are an elected official in state government, if you are in one of the other branches of state government, if you are lobbying to influence state government, all of those are ways to be power or to exercise power over state government. You were shaking your head no, Assemblymember?
Viciously shaking
Not
your head
viciously.
no.
I mean,
I whiplash.
I used it more, I looked at it more as like power rankings for a sports season. And it changes week by week. So my power rankings are reflective of sitting here at 1 p.m. April 1st.
So if
it may change tomorrow. But right now, my list is based on today.
Well, if we're doing it now, does that mean you have the Public Campaign Finance Board at number 1 since they've demonstrated so much power?
No, I also went with a very narrow focus in my Planet Albany.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were saying to me offline that you were focused on the legislature.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well, because we are the ones who actually have to do the thing. So I think we are the most powerful entities in Planet Albany.
Okay. We're going to go to war about this because I have I went Canadian for a second. Sorry. I have a couple people, and none of them are lawmakers.
Well, based on that accent work, I imagine you have the Consul General to New York from Canada,
it's actually,
Tom Clark.
No, Doug Ford, the Ontario Premier.
She's got sonk people. Yeah. That's 5 in French.
So
I wouldn't know.
When we talk about power, we often hear the idea of powerful committees, because someone is the chair of the powerful committee. And I wonder how far you think that type of description needs to go. Do we need to describe the powerful government operations, the powerful
judiciary
procurement committee? Yeah, where does it go?
Your listeners know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know it when you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys don't want to describe it more than that?
I don't think we need to.
I just don't even have a good value judgment sometimes.
People call in if they think they need to explain it more.
Or write to us. We'll take questions off air.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, in terms of preparing for this, did anyone go through the Planet Albany power list that the city and state makes?
They do power lists?
Yeah. They're getting into that business.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that.
Do you guys want a trivia question about one of their lists?
Sure.
Who was number 99 in 2025?
Dave Lombardo.
That is correct. But I did something.
You know what's
giveaway.
You know who number 82 was in the Health Power 100 in 2024?
Was it Josh Jensen?
It was.
Did you stay on the list in the future?
They haven't done another health one since.
And did you feel any pressure to advertise with them? Like, thank you to the voters of Greece, Parma, and
Ogden.
wherever.
You're missing Ogden.
Sure, for your support.
God,
it was
it's
only.
Like it's his first time doing this.
I couldn't get it quite right. Thank you for that help. This is the only reason I'm successful is through you.
I did not choose to advertise with them in any way, shape, or form, but I was very thankful of their recognition of my immense healthcare influence.
Yeah.
Immense. I, for the record, have never been on City and State's top 100.
Or 40 under 40?
Or 40 under 40. Well, it's because I'm 45. So.
I was 40 under 40.
Me too.
Were you really?
Yeah, last year.
Wow, nice.
I made it in 2018.
This is the real power ranking right here. It's the two of you.
Yep. Moving the needle.
Yeah.
So unlike our drafts, there can be overlap in this one. I think this is also fluid. We're going to be counting down. We'll go kind of in a circle. Start with 5, 4, 3, 2, and end with 1. Any thoughts before we start this process?
Let's get the show on the road.
Okay, you're excited. Why
I'm
don't
ready.
you go first? Who's number 5?
She always wants to go first.
I do always want to go first.
Her bangs look great. She's going first. This is a great day for
This is a
Raga.
really good day for me, even though I have not made it on any power lists. My number 5 is going to be Michael Gianaris, Deputy Majority Leader.
For now.
For the state senate. Well, right. I mean, this isn't. I'm not forecasting.
No, you're doing the Josh Jensen model right now.
Right now.
He is.
I say that my number 1 is a forecast.
Okay, fine, whatever. We're all working with different rubrics. I'm going to go with Gianaris, who has been described to me as a political and logistical operations powerhouse for the Senate, which is a pretty influential body.
And he's on my list as well, but further down or higher up, depending. And so I'll mention what I want to say now then, and on which is it's not just the government side of things. He's influential on the political side of things in his role at the DSCC. So I think he wears a lot of hats, which is one of the reasons why I think they're going to end up splitting his job up into maybe even more than just 2 parts. You might see one person running the floor, another person having some other governmental duty. It just seems like a lot depending on who that person is. You have any Mike Gianaris stories you want to share?
You scoffed a little.
No, I didn't scoff. I have no quibble with Mike Gianaris.
Well, but my ranking of
I don't. Gianaris. Makes sense.
Okay.
Well, would you like to share your number 5?
I would, and I feel like I'm going to get mocked, but I feel very good about all my list. I'm going to go with number 5, but based on his hair, number 1 hair, number 5 on my power rankings, Assemblyman Jarrett Gandolfo.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, I'm really interested to hear the justification
I
for this.
have justification for all mine, and I think they're all logical, so I'm going to roll with it. So right now, I'm looking at my power rankings as budget inclusive. Right now, one of the 2 major issues the governor is percolating is auto insurance reform. Assemblyman Gandolfo, besides being our deputy floor leader, is on our insurance committee, a very large voice on insurance issues for our conference. He's also on the executive committee of the National Council of Insurance Legislators.
And that's what you had to write down?
And he's the chairman of the financial services and multi-line issues. So certainly he has a national role on insurance policy. And I think certainly when we do find out how the governor's insurance proposal evolves, I think Mr. Gandolfo is going to be doing an exceptional amount of work in articulating the Republican response to that proposal.
Does the Republican response, in your opinion, move the needle on any of these issues based on the strength of the individual lawmakers who might, like, I assume Ed Raw was a pretty influential person in as much as he knew that much about budget policy and was just like a respected voice on some of this stuff.
I think so, especially when there's a subject matter expert. I think that does shape some of the reception to some of these things. And when we're debating the enacted budget, that is our biggest opportunity to really have point share. And I think a lot of times we've seen the majority react to our responses in the way they've shaped their own messaging, the way the governor shaped her messaging. So even if they'd be not admitting it, I think we do have the ability to change the way the narrative evolves. I think on something with the insurance issue where it is very two strong sides of it, I think some of that response from our side could impact how it's perceived.
So was that 105 in the power rankings?
Number 5.
Just 5?
Yep.
So, we have an assembly insurance chair, and that person is not.
He's not on my list.
More powerful than the Republican on the committee.
Not for my list.
Okay, all right.
With all due respect to Mr. Weprin, for my purposes, at this moment, on the spinning globe, he's not.
As of 1:08 p.m. Wednesday, April 1st, 2026.
Correct.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it sounds like power here. Maybe up for debate.
My power is more influence.
Oh, sure.
In a way.
Well, this is clearly a very subjective conversation.
I chose Sam Sutton in a draft before. Obviously, this.
But that was something that you can quantify. You can quantify what his product is going to be, and he was off to an early. He was off to an early lead in the.
You can quantify vibes. Stay vibed.
The whole thing about vibes is that they're unquantifiable.
Well, that's your opinion.
This is a post-Trump America.
Okay, so my number 5, not often on list with Jarrett Gandolfo, is Rowan Wilson, the state's chief judge.
Oh, shoot.
So, head of our judiciary, because he has say over the entire court system, at least for now, until the Commission on Judicial Conduct investigates him per the Senate and Assembly GOP's recommendations.
See? You're talking about it. You're in the press. Influence.
Sure. He also is potentially a key voice on the state's top court, which has had a lot of influence in shaping redistricting recently, state laws. They're eventually going to weigh in on the state's Green Amendment. So I think he is powerful now, powerful tomorrow, and powerful until he reaches the ripe old age of 70, and we decide that he can no longer serve on the court because our system treats, what's the term for octogenarians or 80-year-olds? What are 70-year-olds?
Yeah, it's sept.
Well said.
As invalids. Yeah.
I'm noted for my eloquence.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Bloomberg was hiring.
Rowan Wilson is my number 5. Raga, would you like to do your 4?
I would. I'm going to go with Mario Slento.
Ooh.
AFL-CIO. Labor.
Mm-hmm.
Need I say more?
Well, if he's not successful in getting any major changes to the pension system this year, would you rethink that ranking?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think, it's a long game with many of these issues, and I think powerful political people understand that.
Follow up. If he walked in here right now, would you know who he was?
Nope. I have spoken to him on the phone.
Would you like to add him to the list of people that you've wanted to meet in person?
I would. Let's get coffee.
Who else is on that list?
It was Tom DiNapoli, and it was Liz Benjamin.
Crossed off.
Crossed off. Yeah. So, see, I'm manifesting right now.
You met Jarrett Gandolfo last week.
I did. I did not manifest that. It just happened. It was a pleasant surprise.
He was radiating power.
Yeah, the National Conference of State Legislators. Am I right?
Insurance legislators.
Sorry. Oh. We're quantifying. We're adding another category. Yeah. Never mind.
He's powerful in a subset of lawmakers.
You know who the president of NCOIL is? Pam Hunter.
Oh, okay.
She's not on my list.
If you'd spelled the acronym out, I would have gotten that. She's such a big voice on insurance stuff and banking stuff in general.
Yes, she is. Not on my power list.
Doing it all from the dais. Well, who's your number 4? Or should I get what Assembly Republican is number 4?
Not an Assembly Republican, because I'm a homer, but not that big of a homer.
Is it Jen Lunsford?
It is Jen Lunsford. Which I guess is a homer because she's from Monroe County. But for the same reason that Mr. Gandolfo was on was because of Jen's role in articulating the response for the Assembly Democratic Conference to the governor's proposals. She was on your podcast very recently, if people haven't listened to it yet. And I think that a lot of the reaction to the governor's proposal during negotiations will be articulated by Assemblymember Lunsford.
Yeah, we've actually had guests on the show who basically say, yeah, Assemblymember Lunsford has my proxy on the car insurance issue in conference. That that's who I turn to. That's who is the voice that we're following. And we actually had a lot of people respond to us after we taped with Assemblymember Lunsford.
Just know, out in the wild, when I bring this up, when I bring Assemblymember Lunsford up, people are like, have you listened to that one Capitol Press Room interview she did about auto insurance? So it's required reading at this point.
Does anyone know what her official title is within the Assembly leadership structure?
I do.
What is it?
Well, what's your guess, Raga?
Point person on insurance?
That is the technical name. You got that right. What is it actually?
The Assistant Majority Leader.
Okay.
Which means she's the number 3 Majority Leader.
All right.
Who is she behind?
Charles Fall.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yep.
Staten Island.
Were he to fall, Lunsford would rise. Or if he just wasn't there.
Did you come up with that just now?
Thank you. My number 4 is someone who Raga recently met, and I am a big fan of.
Jared Godolpho.
And think that she can move the needle and has moved the needle on an issue like medical aid and dying. And she has, press prowess unmatched, and that is Liz Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, question.
How did she move the needle on medical aid and dying?
She was very influential in the lobbying effort behind the scenes on medical aid and dying.
Oh, okay.
And if I ever do a podcast, as someone recommended I do, on how that bill became a law, apparently she should become a big part of it.
You should probably talk to whoever debated against that bill, too.
Yeah. They were unsuccessful in killing it.
Very unsuccessful.
They said, did I change any minds? Who's with me?
I think I changed some minds. Some hearts, certainly.
Yeah.
Al Taylor, come on back to the nose.
No, he voted for it.
I know, but saying, come on back. Come on back to the nose. Liz Benjamin.
It's a good one.
Number 4. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am trying to spread the love around a little bit. So I think...
What is around? Around what?
Well, as you'll see, I'm picking from different pots and making my list representative. That's a key in good list making, I've learned, is you want to have some talking points. So when we publish these, people will be like, oh, that guy.
You're saying you're pulling from lobbying, from advocacy, from...
The judiciary.
That's the judiciary.
One strategy.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not yours.
Oh, I think we're going to post these and have people vote on them too, right?
Oh, good stuff.
Can't wait to lose.
Yeah. Well, you do have...
I'm taking the Raga approach to this.
You do have 45 votes who might be supportive of you.
That's fair.
Yeah. Could be more than either of us got.
Did anyone know who performed at the No Kings rally in Minnesota?
Joan Baez. I don't want to hear it. She was with Maggie Rogers, a rising star in the indie folk scene.
Is Minnesota the New York State capital?
It is.
No,
Minnesota.
I'm sorry.
St. Paul is the capital of Minnesota.
I believe the question was most likely to come to the New York State Capitol to lobby for an issue.
Yeah, but it was tied up in influence and vibes.
I think the biggest news is that she's still alive.
Yeah.
She's still performing, too. Good for her.
But good?
Yeah.
Good performing or just performing?
My top 5 dinner party guests. Joan Baez.
And again, much like Mario Salento, would you know who it was if she knocked on the door, said, I'm here for dinner, and you'd be like, this isn't my DoorDash?
Yeah, if she said her name, I would know, Dave.
Okay.
All right, we got to move on.
What's your number 3? Some challenges need someone who simply won't quit. Modern advocacy brings tenacity, strategy, and unwavering follow-through to every client it serves. Learn more at modernadvocacyllc.com.
Excessive litigation raises costs, car insurance, rent, even groceries. Governor Hochul is reforming our liability laws to stop bad actors from gaming the system and put New Yorkers first. Learn more at keepnewyorkaffordable.org.
Can I go?
Yes, it's your turn.
Cool. I'm going to go with Tish James.
Good pick.
Attorney General Letitia James. I think she has an enormous amount of behind-the-scenes influence, as well as kind of picking right during the mayoral election. I mean, she's like...
Didn't she back Adrienne Adams, too?
Did she?
Yeah, she initially supported Adrienne Adams.
Sounds right.
Oh, for...
mayor.
Yeah, but I mean...
I don't think that worked out.
I don't think it didn't burn any bridges between her and the team. So I think she's all good with that. Yeah, I think she's got a fairly good relationship with most of the blocks in Albany, and at this point seems to have a good relationship with the governor. So, yeah, and she's greeted with cheers everywhere she goes. So...
And while she doesn't... I think, get too involved in the legislative process in Albany, it doesn't seem like when she does pick a spot that she's unsuccessful in getting those bills across.
I agree with that. I'm thinking about the social media regulations a couple of years ago. She's now getting into the fight around surveillance pricing, which is it's like a hot topic right now, and I think people are going to go for it, her bill specifically.
Is there a bill?
There is a bill. It's a generis bill. And Rachel May, there's a couple of different people who are forming bills. But something will happen on that
Emerita
front.
Torres carries a bill in the Assembly.
Yes.
You can hear more about that on the Capitol Press Room.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Pause for advertisement.
Yeah. Hey, I do. Those are real spots. Yeah, I think. I wonder though if it's sort of like there's kinetic power and stored power, and I wonder how much stored power she has versus kinetic power, because it's not like we see a lot of the power in action from Tish James. She's not present throughout the Assembly session.
I also feel like every time the federal government chooses to prosecute her, she gets more power.
Like, I will become more powerful if you strike me down.
I don't know about that. It's been a while since I've talked with the Attorney General, so I don't know if that's exactly how she sounds, but I think she gets more political capital in New York State when the Trump administration does move forward with it.
I would agree with that. Those are high-profile clashes, and she seems to come out on top politically.
Yeah. Assemblymember, you're number 3.
I'm going to go with another strong choice. I'm really banking on 150 votes for me in this respect. I'm going to go with Assemblymember Nili Razak.
Okay. Also on the
chair of the Consumer Protections Committee?
Yes, she is. The reason I'm going with Assemblymember Razak is because probably the one policy proposal the governor put in the budget has to do with child safety online. The past couple of years, those have been widely supported in a bipartisan fashion. All of those proposals come directly from Nili Razak. So certainly when the governor is in a policy fight with the legislature on major issues, but that policy is not one of them, I think that shows that it is a good policy that was swiped from a member of the Assembly, and I think that leads to influence and power in this moment in time.
Do you view her as a key tech voice?
I don't know if I would say key tech. I mean, I think you look at Alex Boras as the most technocratic.
Who is about to leave, right?
Yes.
I mean,
well,
there's a vacuum.
Yes. Yeah. Clyde Vanell does some tech stuff too, but I think hers is more on the how does the tech impact New Yorkers' role. And I think that's where it is an important part, because I don't hear a lot of people calling me and advocating for technology. It's all about, well, how is this technology impacting me or my family?
So a couple of years ago, I used to think of Nili, Brindisi, Sean Ryan, and Goldfeder as like the cool kids in the Assembly. They used to like throw a ball around while we were waiting for like the budget or session. Who are the cool kids in the legislature now? Remember?
Josh Jensen,
yeah.
Jared Gandolfo,
sure. Jen Lunsford,
Mike Durso, Matt Slater, Chris Tagg. I think those are the cool kids.
So we'll let you mull that over more.
Yeah, and the prereq is to be a Republican, it sounds like.
Raga, do you have cool kids?
Oh, I don't know. On the Senate side or on the Assembly side?
Either or.
I mean, on the Senate side, I feel like Hinchy, Bailey, Myrie probably have a little...
That is a group that likes to hang together.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I don't know who else is involved in that group, though. And I wonder if there's a group chat.
And
I wonder if that group chat is foilable. Do we think Scoofus is part of that cool kids group?
I'm going to send you yes vibes telepathically.
Okay, but he's not allowed to say anything.
He's just hanging on.
For reasons devoted listeners will understand.
I think the cool kids vibe, I think the legislature is inherently cliquey. So I think you have different collections of cool kid vibes. It's a lot like a lunchroom.
Who does Carl Heastie hang out with?
That's a good question.
A dog named Paisley.
An adorable dog named Paisley.
She is very cute.
She follows me around. I'm like, Paisley, I'm not giving you any food. I don't need your dad mad at me.
Sticking with the Assembly, my number 3 is Jen Best. And I was asking around about the role of legislative staffers and trying to pick between, say, the Senate or Assembly staff. And she, more so than Jonathan Lang in the Senate, was held up as the person who is super duper influential in the legislature. Not to say that Jonathan Lang isn't, but this is a cutthroat list here, and maybe he's my number 6. And in differentiating the two, I would point to the fact that Best has been here longer than Jonathan, and the Senate has at least a reputation of being a more member-driven body than the Assembly. So Jen Best and her role in the legislature, the way she's been empowered by the Speaker to advance or kill things, because it's not just her. She has, a team at Central Staff that she's, responsible for. So Jen Best is my number 3. Have you had any encounters with?
Not a lot of interactions directly with her, but I think your point is correct about the influence of Program and Counsel, which is the office she heads up in the Assembly Majority. Because, I've had conversations with the majority members, and usually the second thing out of their mouth is, well, I got to check with PNC. Or, PNC said no, or PNC said we're going with it. So I think certainly it is a clearinghouse for the Speaker on what type of policy does see the light of day.
Yeah, and to that point, I think this maybe goes without needing to be said, but the Senate, because it feels like a more streamlined and efficient body. Well, but in terms of how many people are in contact with PNC on a regular basis, like the Assembly, it seems like it's just a fire hose of information all the time.
I also don't think you can. We've read articles. You might have done a thing on it, Dave, about working rules in the Senate. That's essentially seemingly the Senate majority's PNC, but with 103 members, you've got to have somebody who doesn't have skin in the game to an extent be the one to scrutinize these things. Now, I don't know if my colleagues would agree that that's the best way to do it, but I would imagine caucus management is probably a way that works.
Do we think the Assembly needs a super elite task force?
Well, they do have the committee on committees that handles sort of the flow of legislation, but to the Assembly member's point about these working groups, they don't have the ones that sort of pop up in the Senate side. Like, in addition to working rules, the group on immigration, they have budget ones, and we actually had Assembly member Al Sturpey on the show.
I was going to give you a shout-out for that one.
What?
I was going to say, as I heard recently on a very influential and informative podcast, Al Sturpey was a part of one on an important issue that I can't remember what it was.
I think he was Child Victims Act he was talking about, but he said for the most part, they just have a more chaotic process in the Assembly. So.
Which is why I think it makes one person at the head more influential. I'm backing you.
Possibly. Thank you. I appreciate the support.
Well, but she also has to have the Speaker's backing.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have the Speaker's backing and carry the weight of the Speaker, then kind of the influence wanes.
But because we're not allowed to pick Carl Heastie, I accept that as a good proxy.
And I'm going to pretend that this was my ingenious workaround to that.
Did you ask people too?
Yeah.
Oh, I asked people.
I asked no one.
It shows.
Rude.
And that's one of the things that I always kind of feel insecure about is that we have this very surface level understanding of how bills are moving and who exercises power, coming back to the idea of the powerful committee chair, when in reality, so much of it is away from our eyes as members in the media that, of course, I was going to ask people because they might be trying to move things and they know who kills or helps their issues.
Yeah, no, this really just shows up my own ignorance sometimes, this process.
But we're great for asking questions.
Yeah.
If Jen Best walked in here, would you know?
I think so, actually. I would. I've looked her up on LinkedIn before. Sorry, Jen.
Hey, that's the lady who's sometimes around the Speaker.
Right.
And they'd be like, nope, that's the body person.
The Speaker's out
They're like,
there
nope,
right
that's
now?
Marcus.
My man.
Hey, it's one of the most powerful comms people in Albany just swinging by. You'll never know who you'll see on dispatches from Planet Albany. You're number 2, Raga.
I'm number 2. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're asking for my number 2? I can't justify this because I don't really know much about what this person
you don't have to justify it. Call it the Josh Jensen approach.
Cool. I think the Speaker just did a press conference.
No, he did. Yeah, he finished that.
Great.
Sorry,
And here's what I prioritized.
Sorry, guys.
Here's what I am prioritizing. I'm going to go with KPK. I think that is just something that, people, when I was asking that she was just a name that came up. Mm-hmm. But I actually don't really know
you should say her name for the listeners who may not be familiar with her.
I can't.
It starts with Karen and ends with...
Keo.
Thanks. What's the middle one?
Priscilla.
Thank you.
It's not right. That's not right. It's not Priscilla.
Okay. I was thinking more along the lines of... I was going to say vermicelli, so Permicelli, but I don't think that's right either.
Yeah. She, fun fact, is either a fan of the podcast or she does just like our social media feed, especially when we have Bob Megna
Dave's
in it.
really proud of that.
Yep.
Should be.
We've hit
she's
the
the number 2 most powerful person in Albany.
According to your list. Maybe not on Josh Jensen's list. Well, I'll have more to say on that one in a bit, but do you want to say anything else about KPK?
Nope.
All right. Assembly member, would you like to do your number 2?
I would, and I'm ready for you guys to mock me again for this one.
Good God.
Assembly member.
Oh, boy.
Deborah Glick.
Sure.
Okay.
NCON chair.
NCON chair. The green queen of the Assembly majority. Once again, because my entire list is budget-based, on the legislative role, certainly, and just apparently the Assembly. I think any compromise on the CLCPA that's in the budget is going to have to get either the sign-off or the okay or the tacit approval of Deborah Glick to be okay with the rest of that conference. So I think in her last budget, or for last session, she carries a very large amount of power and influence on probably the governor's biggest policy fight in the budget.
Costs are up everywhere, and New Yorkers need relief. Thankfully, Governor Hochul is fighting back against lawsuit abuse that leaves New Yorkers with some of the highest car insurance costs in the nation. Florida did it, and most drivers are paying lower insurance prices, some up to 20%. Albany lawmakers should back these reforms. Visit keepnewyorkaffordable.org to learn how the governor's reforms will put money back in your pocket.
As the number 2 most powerful person in Albany, based on your list, do you think she'll be able to move through a bill requiring us to all turn the lights off outside at 11 p.m.?
I doubt it, but, I vigorously debated her on horseshoe crabs, so anything's possible.
So my number 2 is someone we heard from earlier. I think he was your number 5, Mike Gianaris. He's my only lawmaker on the list, and some of the other ones I was thinking about were Assemblymember Crystal People-Stokes, the majority leader. I asked why somebody else had suggested them. They said when she wants stuff for Buffalo in the budget, it makes it into the budget. And I ultimately went with Gianaris in this position because he is successful in getting his legislative priorities, but then again, much like those central staffers, he is responsible for that flow of what is going to be prioritized in the Senate. Mm-hmm. So Mike Gianaris is my number 2. Who's your number 1, Raga?
I also I think I'm gonna go with Hakeem Jeffries, and I don't think that that's strictly within the bounds of Planet Albany.
Well, what made you choose the House Minority Leader?
I think he's a really influential voice in the Democratic Party, and I think the governor listens to him and takes, his, I don't want to say directives, but I think she certainly considers them whenever she's making decisions that have the ability to ripple outside of New York.
Aside from redistricting, what would you point to?
Congestion pricing.
Okay. Now, he is not on the same page, though, as somebody like Zohran Mamdani.
Absolutely not, but that's a relatively recent upset, right? I mean,
he's on the same page when it comes to Chi-Osi.
There you go.
Is that how you say it?
Not anymore. They made up.
Yeah, but he's still not running for Congress.
Yeah.
That is fair.
So do you think Hakeem Jeffries has more power in Planet Albany than Zohran Mamdani?
At this point? Yeah.
The guy who had a giant child care announcement with the governor?
How many primaries is his political group backing amongst Assembly majority members?
Hakeem? I know he always goes for Jabari Brisport.
Yeah, and that's about it. But Zohran Mamdani's DSA, a couple more.
Sure, but Mamdani's chosen not to weigh in on some of those races on purpose, and I don't know what. Who's he listening to? I don't know. Publicly, yeah.
Is he getting involved in any GOP primaries?
Have you heard? What have you heard?
I'm not a member of the New York City DSA.
Come on, break some news. You should go in as a plant.
Yeah,
hello, fellow socialists.
They'd scrutinize the media, but they wouldn't scrutinize a Republican.
I have red hair. I'm one of you.
Is that a thing?
What? Because
socialists have red hair?
Dave, that's really offensive to ask.
No, because they
don't put up with that, Assemblymember.
They have a red rose as their logo. And I have red hair, and all their branding is red. Yeah. And I have red hair, and when I get embarrassed, I turn red.
Obviously.
So, yeah, that's where I was going with that. Yeah. Not very funny joke.
No, it's the password. You knock on the door, and they look at you, and they say, "Well, welcome. Come on in."
They're like, "Oh, another red menace."
Right. That was a delayed reaction. A little history for those of us who didn't live through the 50s.
I didn't feel great about that joke, and then you laughed. I felt better.
Well, I don't know if I would take it. I don't know that I know what's politically correct versus politically incorrect.
So who's your number 1, Assemblymember? Is it like the Sergeant at Arms or something? Wayne Jackson.
Arguably, he's number 1 in our hearts.
Because if he locks the doors, we can't do anything.
True. No, I'm going to go off book a little bit for the rest of my 4. And I thought a lot about England when I picked this, and you've got the King Charles, but nobody really cares about the King because, he's going to move on at some point.
Won't we all?
Right. But everybody loves Prince William. My number 1 is Jamal Bailey.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So all the tittle-tattle is that he's going to be the next Senate Majority Leader. Nobody's refuted that. Nobody's said whether or not it's going to happen or not, but nobody seems to be unfanning that flame.
Sure.
So I think that means he is going to be very soon, potentially the most powerful.
Very
person.
soon.
So that's
very soon in, before the next ice age.
And he's in the Cool
after
Kids
next
Club.
November. Yeah. That's a double whammy.
What was that?
He's in the Cool Kids Club, Bailey, that Raga pontificated about.
And he's the king of sneaker people.
Oh, tell Zellner
So he's
that.
got fashion lockdown, too.
Oh, if you're into that. It's not a twin set.
It is no twin set.
I was just looking for an excuse.
But not all of us can do that. Well.
So that is definitely a perspective power choice.
Yes.
And so you're buying stock in Bailey right now.
I'm buying stock in that idea, but also I'm not a member of the Senate, obviously, nor the Senate majority, nor do I want to be either of those things. But I wonder how much weight that carries to be the presumptive heir when you're in budget negotiations, especially when you have, the deputy leader retiring, questions about the leader, term limits in place. Does he have more
term limits in place?
Well, because they have a party term limit.
They could change the internal rules, and probably will change the internal rules.
We hear all about how we need to respect the rules and democracy, and so I fully expect them to abide by their rules.
Well, they will, but they'll just be new rules.
So I wonder how much, and certainly members of the Senate majority, like Jim Skoufis, would probably be able to weigh in on that.
Jimmy.
Oh God, no!
Be able to weigh
Cut
in
that.
Be able to weigh in on that. But from an outsider looking in, I feel like that's a
yes, Raga.
If you are buying stock in Jamal Bailey, does that mean you are going to be selling stock in Deborah Glick after whatever May 9th?
Not after the budget passes. After the last day of session.
You're just dumping all of it.
I mean, I think you have to. Anybody who's retiring, you have to dump.
It's tough. It's tough out here.
Yeah.
It's a real dog-eat-dog world.
So I cheated for my number one, and I'm just doing a triumvirate of people.
That's literally not allowed.
Well, did you write the rules?
No.
This is your podcast?
God.
There you go. And my number one is KPK, Jackie Bray, and Blake Washington. I wish the last one had rhymed.
Yeah,
but
that would have been cool.
And I think that, as one person said, KPK and Jackie Bray as a duo, they have more power than senior staff in the legislature. Maybe Jackie Bray is more powerful because she'll probably be around longer than KPK. I could see a world in which after the governor, if she gets reelected, maybe KPK says, all right, I'm good, I'm out, in which case Jackie Bray's influence probably would grow. She's had the policy director role. Basically, now she's director of state operations, and as we've described her in the past, she's the Swiss Army knife of the governor's team. So I think she will be deployed in many different ways beyond what we might have seen as traditional director of state operations. And then, as a friend of the show, Tim Ruffinen, was pointing out, Blake Washington, as people understand, has a very close relationship with the governor. He is not just a dollar and cents advisor to the governor. She turns to him as kind of the man of the people sort of perspective on a variety of issues, as well as in the corrections world where he has that lived experience, not as a formerly incarcerated person, but in the parole space.
I think that was understood.
Yeah, I thought I'd clarify. I didn't want to besmirch him. So I'm doing the three-headed monster of KPK, Blake Washington, and
I'm not
Jackie
happy
Bray.
about it, but it is his show.
It's his show. It's not Dispatches with Raga Justin.
It should be, though.
It could be.
That's too arrogant. I can't do this.
Listen, you keep missing press gaggles with the speaker. You might need a podcast.
Don't put that out there.
Is there anybody else who you guys thought about putting on, or maybe after hearing this list that you're like, oh, I wish I had put this person on, or they almost made the cut?
I'm going to be honest with you. After I talked with Raga walking in, and then we started this, I thought of doing a whole lot of other things differently. But
maybe some more majority members.
I mean, I had 4 out of 5 were majority members.
Yeah. Were you? Sorry, somebody had said. Did you say Pam Hunter already?
I said
Pam Hunter.
I didn't say her,
but we mentioned her.
Chair of NCOIL.
She's the president of the National Council of Insurance Legislators.
And COIL,
right.
for those in the know.
But I was referring not really to that context, but more to her position as an advisor or as a trusted person for Speaker Heastie. You know, if we can't do the top three, I feel like you got to try to chip away at the people who are closest to the top three, as you did with Blake Washington.
Oh, and I think
you
mentioned the majority leader, Crystal Peoples-Stokes. I think that's, and I think
do we think that's a closer relationship?
I don't know if it's closer, but
Gianaris and ASC are tied at the hip and have been for a decade and a half plus now. So they are, two sides of the same coin.
Two-headed monster, if you will.
I wouldn't call our Senate Majority Leader a monster.
I mean, you did call the governor's senior staff a three-headed monster.
I was fine with that.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Tom DiNapoli, not on the list?
No.
Was he number 6 for everyone?
I mean, if more of his primary opponents start getting arrested at the Capitol, then maybe that changes, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
Dump some Raj Goyal stock. Invest in DiNapoli.
I don't have any.
I don't really take any of those primaries that seriously. Anybody else who people were thinking about didn't make the list? Dispatches.
I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say a friend of the podcast, Congressman Mike Lawler.
Okay.
Friend of the podcast.
Does he listen?
From which episode?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if he's ever been on.
No.
All around good guy, but I feel like when you're talking about upcoming elections, certainly I think he's going to probably be the most expensive congressional race in the country, and.
Sure.
But him and Congressman Josh Riley do seem to act like they're state lawmakers with the amount of press releases they put out relevant to Albany. But they're not actually moving the needle here, so maybe not that powerful.
I will say we completely skipped over one, I would argue, very influential category of people in Albany, which are the lobbyists.
And I have Chantel Plummer on my list.
Of course you do.
Are you contractually obligated?
No, I literally have that on my list.
No, I've heard that from other people too. But I also was thinking Patrick Jenkins.
Yep.
I know there's
Sean Doolin.
There's a ton. There's really a ton of people out there. But it's sort of such a moving target. I don't even know how you quantify who is the most.
And I think it all depends on what the issue is.
I think that's fair.
Time. And so, you look right now on the auto insurance stuff. Certainly Ken Radat, who represents trial lawyers, he's going to have outsized influence. I don't know who represents Uber, but you look at the lobbies the Business Council.
I know Josh Gold does work for them.
Yeah, so they're going to have outsized influence, but once that issue's addressed, then somebody else will take that spot. So I think it's dependent, much as I looked at it, at the current time and place.
So let's go over our list real quick. Raga, count us down. What's your 5 through 1?
Well, I don't remember now. Give me a second. I think I had Gianaris.
Yep.
As my number 5. Then I
Do you not have it written down?
Nope. Then I had Mario Salento, AFL-CIO. Then I had Attorney General Letitia James. Next up was KPK, no further title. And next up was Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader.
Do you know what KPK's title is?
If I gun to my head right now, I would be scared I would get shot.
Guns aren't allowed.
It's secretary.
Yes, I knew that.
Okay. Assemblymember, your top 5.
Number 5, Assemblyman Jared Gandolfo. Number 4, Assemblymember Jen Lunsford. Number 3, Assemblymember Nili Razik. Number 2, Assemblymember Deborah Glick. And number 1, Senator Jamal Bailey.
Off the dome. Dude, the only notes were Jared Gandolfo's official titles.
This is why some of us have actual positions of power and others of us right.
Oh. You're telling me I have power?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's all relative,
88,
Assembly member.
In the top...
82nd.
82nd, sorry.
2024. It's got to go up by now.
So my number 5 is Chief Judge Rowan Wilson. Number 4, Marathon Strategies, Liz Benjamin. Number 3, the Assembly's Jen Best. Number 2, the Senate's Mike Gianaris. And number 1, what's the dog? Cerberus? Is that the 3-headed dog?
I believe that is
KPK,
correct.
Blake Washington, and Jackie Bray. So it's been a wonderful episode. Who do you guys think is going to win when it comes to voting?
Probably me.
Yeah.
I think you're going to win.
He cheated.
He did.
I mean...
Might run out of space with that list.
Yeah.
We're talking about people who played the cleanest and who have the best picks? Raga, Jess.
I think I know who's not going to win.
People vote for love of the game.
Only the members of the Assembly vote.
Which is not...
You know who we didn't talk about is number 6 on my list? Sam Sutton.
Number 7 on my list, Joan Baez.
None of the GOP leaders made the list.
I was very purposeful not to do anybody with a leader in their title because I feel like otherwise it'd be a very boring list.
So Assembly Assistant Majority Leader Jen Lunsford, though, didn't count?
No. Nor did Deputy Minority Leader Pro Temp Jared Gandolfo.
So a lot of rules for thee and not for me is what I'm hearing from both of you.
No, I'm a politician.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Patriarch.
Yeah, literally.
Glad to have you here. Thank you both so much for making time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good idea. Ask the two men.
Yeah, for real. Aoife said I was good, but you never know.
You should trust women.
I should.